Estamos en el barrio de Roza Bal y bueno, sinceramente estamos en la ciudad de Srinagar, es la capital de Kashmir y sinceramente una joya de ciudad, su arquitectura, sus casas antiguas. Aquí donde estoy sinceramente no es cualquier sitio, he venido expresamente a ver este sitio. No sé cómo lo voy a hacer, puesto que está totalmente prohibido fotografiar y grabar vídeo y fotografía. No sé si en la parte de fuera también está prohibido, pero bueno, vamos a intentarlo y que sea lo que Dios quiera. Pero el edificio que os voy a enseñar, que está aquí al fondo, seguramente que muchos no sabéis este tipo de historia, pero según cuentan y hay datos científicos y de historiadores y bueno, no sé, nada en este mundo, sinceramente, no sabemos realmente qué es verdad 100% y qué no es verdad, ¿no? Pero bueno, hablando de religión y concretamente del cristianismo, pues nos enseñaron que Jesucristo murió y resucitó a los 3 días y bueno, y luego se fue al cielo, ¿no? Y ahí quedó la historia en el tema de la religión católica. Pero hay otra historia que es la que dice que Jesucristo vino a Kashmir, en este caso a la ciudad de Srinagar, y él vino buscando las 12 tribus perdidas. Y él aquí vivió y murió de viejo, de muerte natural. Incluso dicen que se casó y tuvo hijos. Como podéis comprobar, Kashmir, el 95% de la población es musulmán. Es una zona que está considerada en la India ¿cómo os diría? Muy caliente, ¿no? Por el hecho de los atentados terroristas, puesto que la frontera de Pakistán la tenemos muy cerca. Este edificio que veis ahí verde, no el alto que es una mezquita, sino lo que veis ahí verde, ahí supuestamente está enterrado Jesucristo. Yo no he podido entrar, nadie puede entrar, está cerrado, pero sí que hay una ventana abierta pequeña donde se ve la tumba. Lógicamente no lo voy a poder fotografiar ni grabar, vamos a grabar tan solo la parte de fuera. Como el que no quiere la cosa, vamos. Bueno, os voy a enseñar la arquitectura que tiene esta ciudad. Es la hora del rezo para los musulmanes. Y bueno, él está rezando por supuesto al Dios, Alá. Es muy fácil de entender porque nombra mucho en sus oraciones, siempre nombra Allah, Allah, Allah. Aquí dentro está supuestamente enterrado Jesucristo y aquí os voy a enseñar el cartel. Lo tengo que hacer disimuladamente porque ya me han dicho que es una zona bastante conflictiva con respecto a este tema, así que me voy a poner aquí y os voy a intentar enseñar el cartel. Y bueno, estamos en un barrio, por decirlo de alguna manera, santo. Estamos en la ciudad de Srinagar, una ciudad muy interesante para visitar y para ver. Y bueno, este edificio que veis justamente aquí entre estas dos esquinas, esto que veis aquí, aquí está enterrado Jesucristo. En el Corán se menciona a Jesucristo y se le llama con el nombre de Issa. Y todos los musulmanes, cuando dices Issa, sabe que te refieres a Jesucristo. Esa ventana que está abierta, desde ahí se ve la tumba. Como veis, la gente me mira, es que es bastante complicado hacer esto que estoy haciendo, sinceramente. Puede pasar cualquier cosa, puesto que pone muy estrictamente que no se puede fotografiar ni nada. Y bueno, yo hago disimuladamente el tema. Bueno, como veis, la arquitectura de las casas es muy antigua y sinceramente una ciudad muy interesante. Parece que
Kashmiri history books tell us that Asaf came from abroad. He was a prophet and a messenger. He came from Israel. He came to spread his teachings. He lived and died here. He is Jesus. He is Issa. The meaning of Asaf is the healer. Another meaning is the shepherd, one who teaches others. And our history books confirm that Issa was known as Asaf here in Kashmir. Asaf continued to teach and preach in Kashmir until he died around the year 80 AD. He was buried in Srinagar. And this, they say, is Asaf's tomb. The first building erected around this site was built in 112 AD. In fact, it's now a shared gravesite. In the 15th century, the Islamic holy man Syed Nazir ud-Din was also buried here. Although both gravestones under the cloth point north-south in the Islamic tradition, the body of Asaf is buried beneath in a grave dug east-west in the Jewish tradition. Next to the sarcophagus are two carved footprints. The marks on these are said to be the symbolic representations of the scars of crucifixion. The footprints were carved as a sign. The scars are clearly visible, received when he was nailed to the cross. They show that this is the same person who came from Israel and that he lived and died here. You won't find any footprints like these anywhere else in Kashmir. We don't have that tradition. The position of the scars, just behind the toes, do not match each other, but they would align if a single nail was driven through both feet, with the left foot placed over the right.
Inhabitant of that tomb is Asaf, is the name given to us. Some researchers have said that this name is a translation of Jesus the Gatherer, and they believe Asaf means gatherer, so Jesus the Gatherer. Others have said it means the leader of the healed.
We say Jesus, but in India and Pakistan and Kashmir and other parts of the world, he was always either called Issa or Asaf. After having lived there and breathed it for so long and absorbed it in every pore of my body for so long and researched it and seen it from that side of the world for so long, I have no doubt. No doubt is in my heart. That is Jesus in that tomb.
the tomb of Yusuf is hundreds of years older than the beginning of Islam. In the Muslim tradition, an enclosure building is never built around the tomb. But this tomb of Yusuf has an enclosure building around the sarcophagus, around the grave, and that is an ancient building. One of the significant aspects of the tomb of Yusuf, there is a carving of 2 stone feet. The stone feet have strange marks, as though at the time of the burial, the artist was trying to show that that individual had undergone a crucifixion, and to preserve that knowledge in stone. And of course, the Muslim caretakers now keep it covered over with a cloth because they do not want attention to be drawn to that fact.
In Kashmir, he preached for a long time and finally left his physical frame at a very old age. And this is supposed to be his tomb. The shrine is beautifully decorated and lighted. The carvings of Kashmiri designs add to the grandeur of the place. The air is filled with fragrance of the divine. The tomb itself is of a pre-Islamic period. This old photograph shows that the wooden coffin was actually covered with a cloth of Jewish appearance. This huge wooden sarcophagus, which we see, is only a facade. The real tomb is in the underground chamber, which is sealed now. The tomb lies in east-west direction, which is distinctly the Jewish direction of burial. It cannot be a Muslim tomb, because Muslims bury their dead in southwest direction. We all know that Jesus Christ was a born Jew. In the 18th century, the Grand Mufti of Kashmir was the highest court of law in this land. In 1766 AD, he issued a decree regarding the Roza Bal shrine. According to this decree, User Asaf was a prophet to the people of Kashmir, and he had come to Kashmir during the reign of King Gopananda. It is well known that King Gopananda ruled Kashmir during the 1st century AD. This matches exactly with the time period of Jesus Christ. There is another very tantalizing evidence. These are the footprints of User Asaf. They show deep marks of wounds, something like those of crucifixion. Well-known scientist Kurt Berner, an expert, has examined these marks and says that this is exactly how the feet of Jesus were nailed on the cross, one upon the other, pierced with a single nail. This board displays an information about the book Tarikh-i-Azam, written in 1729 AD by Khwaja Azam Dedmari. This spot is famous as the resting place of a messenger. I have read in an ancient book that a prince from a foreign land arrived here and engaged himself in piety and prayers and became messenger of God for the Kashmiri people. What is intriguing is that since always this User Asaf is considered to be none other than Jesus Christ himself, the Savior of mankind. There is also a possibility of an interesting link between the Jewish culture and Shaivism. This is the Star of David, the most sacred symbol of the Jews. In Vedic culture, this is the symbol of Shiva and Shakti. the conjunction of masculine and feminine forces which gives rise to creation. The Shiva Lingam in Yoni Peeth is a 3D representation of the same symbol. The Shiva temple of the Gopadri hill also houses a Shiva Lingam. The Shiva angle becomes prominent when we find that there is a mention of Issa in the ancient scrolls of the Nath sect of India. It is an extremely old, secretive and mystic sect of Shiva worshippers. Their ancient book, Nath Namavali Sutra, mentions Issa as Isanath. It says that Isanath finally got settled in Kashmir. The evidences are very strong that User Asaf, the prophet buried at Roza Bal, and Jesus Christ are the same person. The next step of research should be DNA testing of the tomb. We must use the latest scientific techniques to ascertain the final truth.
The DNA is the next important tool that we need to help establish the truth about Roza Bal tomb.
Whatever may be the ultimate truth, the Roza Bal shrine stands as a great heritage, not only of India, but of entire mankind. It must be preserved properly and should be open to all.
This shrine, which is revered by Christians, by Hindus, by Muslims, by Jews, it is a national heritage, and it should be taken over by UNESCO. It should be taken over by Government of India. It should be looked after by the Archaeological Survey of India.
I think it is the responsibility of India and the government of Kashmir to step up to the plate, to take Roza Bal, to protect it and restore it, and to preserve it for all future generations.
In the city of Patna, there is the Khuda Bakhsh Oriental Public Library. It houses a large number of ancient books and documents. There is an old book in Urdu in the library by the name of Qissa Shehzada Yusa Asaf Wo Hakim Balahar, the story of Prince Yusa Asaf and Hakim Balahar. It describes the moment of death of Yusa Asaf in Kashmir. Yusa Asaf called one of his disciples Ya Bodh and instructed him to build a tomb at the very place of his death. Then the great Savior delivered his last sermon. Now, at this last moment, my spirit is ready to fly towards the Holy One. It is necessary for all of you to follow the commandments of God. None should go towards the untruth, leaving the truth.
Show me how you do that trick. soft and only you, lost and lonely you, strangers, angels, dancing in the deepest ocean, twisting in the water, just like a dream, you're just like a dream. Lost and lonely you, just like